على مستوى الشعبي. رسالتك حتوصل للمستمعين في مواقع مختلف، مما يعزز التفاعلات الهاتفة ويزيد الوعي بعلامة تجارية. التغطية الشاملة.
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The SPLM-IO under interim chairperson Stephen Parkwall has called on the unity government to activate the mechanisms tasked with implementing the 2018 peace deal and reiterated calls for the unconditional release of first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar. The National Minister of General Education has said that the 2024 Senior 4 examination results are now expected to be released within the next 2 weeks, contrary to an earlier statement that said the release for the end of last month. The National Deputy Minister of Information has called for joint efforts involving Central Equatoria, Pibor Administrative Area and the leadership of Jonglei State to forge sustainable peace in the region. These are stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. The SPLM-IO under interim chairperson Stephen Parkwall has called on the unity government to activate the mechanisms tasked with implementing the 2018 peace deal and reiterated calls for the unconditional release of first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar. In a statement dated August 3rd, the SPLM-IO High-Level Leadership Council expressed concerns over the continued delay in implementing security arrangements and other peace-related mechanisms. The press release said, and I quote, SPLM-IO urges the leadership of the High-Level Committee and NTC to expedite the activation of the mechanisms charged with implementation of the RXS, especially the security mechanisms to fast-track the completion of Chapter 2 of the agreement, end quote. In a related demand, the SPLM-IO renewed its call for the unconditional release of its chairman, Dr. Riek Machar, who remains in detention. The group insisted that if there is any incriminating evidence against him or other detainees, they should be tried in a competent or impartial court of law. In addition, the SPLM-IO called for an end to aerial bombardments of civilian areas and urged all parties to fully observe the permanent ceasefire while giving dialogue and confidence-building efforts a genuine chance to succeed. The group further appealed to peace partners, stakeholders and the international community to urgently engage in overcoming the persistent delays obstructing the agreement's full implementation. The SPLM-IO went on to call on the government to support institutions tasked with delivering free, fair and credible elections in December 2026. It reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to the full, timely and genuine implementation of the RXS in both letter and spirit, describing it as the only viable framework for achieving peace, political stability and sustainable economic recovery in the country. The National Minister of General Education has said that the 2024 Senior 4 examination results are now expected to be released within the next 2 weeks, contrary to an earlier statement that said the release for the end of last month. Dr. Kuyok Abol Kuyok made the statement yesterday after briefing Josephine Laguyanga, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan and Chairperson of the Service Cluster, according to her office. Accompanied by the Secretary General of the National Examination Council, Dr. Kuyok explained that the ministry had secured the necessary funding to complete the examination process through close collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of South Sudan. He acknowledged the delay, apologized on behalf of the ministry, and assured the public that measures are being taken to prevent such delays in the future. Dr. Kuyok also revealed that the government has approved a new fee for examination registration. According to the statement from the Vice President's office, this fee is intended to cover the rising cost of organizing exams nationwide, reflecting the growing number of candidates, a positive indicator of educational progress. Meanwhile, it announced that the registration for the primary 8 examinations is expected to begin soon, with officials notices to be sent to education officials across the state. The statement added that the revenue generated from these fees will directly support the examination process. On her part, Vice President Josephine Laguyanga emphasized the importance of uninterrupted education services and directed the ministry to ensure the academic calendar proceeds smoothly. She also reaffirmed her commitment to supporting initiatives aimed at strengthening South Sudan's education system. The National Deputy Minister of Information has called for joint efforts involving Central Equatoria, Pibor Administrative Area and the leadership of Jonglei State to forge sustainable peace in the region. David Yayao made these remarks during a courtesy visit to to the governor of Central Equatoria State, Rabbi Mujung Emmanuel, to congratulate him on his recent appointment. The meeting, according to the office of Governor Mujung, focused on fostering good relations between Pibor and Central Equatoria State, with discussions centered on strengthening intergovernmental cooperation and promoting peaceful coexistence. Yao was cited as saying sustainable peace can only be achieved through inclusive and coordinated approaches among the three leaderships. On his part, Governor Mujung welcomed the visit and called on continuous dialogue and mutual engagement to address neighborly concerns. He echoed the minister's call for collaboration, adding that peace and unity depend on collective efforts across neighboring regions. This is iRadio News. And now to the international scene. The UN Food Agency has warned that families trapped within the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher face starvation. The World Food Programme said it had not been able to deliver food to the city in the western Darfur region by road for more than a year. El Fasher has been surrounded by paramilitary fighters from the Rapid Support Forces for nearly 16 months, determined to seize it from Sudan's army. The WFP warning comes as local activists have already begun reporting death by starvation in the city, which is still home to about 300,000 people. And Rwanda has said it will accept up to 250 migrants from the U.S. in a deal agreed with President Donald Trump's administration. The government spokesperson Yolande Makole confirmed to the BBC. Under the scheme, the deportees would be given workforce training, health care and accommodation to jumpstart their lives in Rwanda. A condition of the agreement was that Rwanda would have the ability to approve each individual proposed for resettlement. The White House has not commented on the deal directly, but told the BBC it was constantly talking to countries willing to assist us in removing the illegal aliens that ex-President Joe Biden had allowed to infiltrate the U.S. This is our Radio Morning News. And to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. The SPLM-IO under interim chairperson Stephen Parkour has called on the unity government to activate the mechanisms tasked with implementing the 2018 peace deal and reiterated calls for the unconditional release of first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar Teny. The National Minister of General Education has said that the 2024 Senior 4 examination results are now expected to be released within the next 2 weeks, contrary to an early statement that said their release for the ends of last month. And the National Deputy Minister of Information has called for joint efforts involving Central Equatoria, Pibor Administrative Area and the leadership of Jonglei State to forge sustainable peace in the region. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I'm Lasuba Memo. Thank you for listening.
Your voice, man.